Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your daily Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the season finale for The Walking Dead Season 7, the first day of the rest of your life. This one first, we're going to give our thoughts on Scott Gimple saying that The Walking Dead could last for another 20 years? And I'll put the link in the description for you guys so you can check it out from independent.co.uk. Very cool stuff. And of course, spoiler warning for Not Cut Up for Walking Dead, episode 15, all that good stuff. You know, the pleasantries and all the usual. Speaking at PaleyFest in Los Angeles, Scott M. Gimple teased how the zombie-outbreak hit will remain on air until 2030, probably longer, and that many of the actors have said they're eager to stay. We'll see about that as time passes, right? And it says, quote unquote, "We are trying to do 20 years. The comic has certainly done it, and I look forward to every issue," Gimple said, according to New York Daily News. The Simpsons has been on 26, 27 years, so that's a challenge. So, okay, challenge accepted. Done. Gimple said of the show using comic book storylines, quote unquote, "We try to reinvent the show every 8 episodes. We have this story that is a fidelity to the comic book, but we're also exploring original stuff, and those things help us go on every year. We want to try to do it better, do things we haven't done, take risks. It's scary as hell, but as long as we keep doing that, the show can go on and on." Then they say, or then they've got a part here, the question of Andrew Lincoln's future on the show was also raised to executive producer Greg Nicotero, who said, "We love what we do. I spent 10 days with Andy, JDM, and Norman Reedus, and halfway through our press tour, we were like, we have an effing awesome job. This is the greatest job you could have." So that's really cool, man. A lot of positivity there. Definitely check out the link for you guys there in the comments below. I'm really happy to read this one. Season 7, of course, we've had similar things like this in the past before. I've covered this in videos before. We've given our thoughts on, the length of The Walking Dead, how long it could go, how long we want it to go, this kind of idea. But this is really cool to hear that they're just basically saying, to continue for 20 years, 20 Simpsons 26, 27 years, and that they have that kind of vision for The Walking Dead. I'm really happy to hear that they're thinking really, long-term down the road. And I think, too, if you look at Robert Kirkman and what's happening with the Walking Dead comics, this year, for example, he's ending Invincible, which is a bit unfortunate because I love Invincible. It's one of his other series that's been on for a really long time. But it sounds to me like he might be kind of, moving that off because The Walking Dead has become so huge, and of course he's got other projects he probably wants to work on too, such as Outcast and some other stuff that he does. But just him continuing to produce the Walking Dead comic book series, being committed to it, and continuing to release it all the time, with the series consistently being one of the most popular comic books on release year after year after year, with the volumes selling really well compared to a lot of different comic books that are out there. A lot of people collecting them, such as myself, have every volume, have every issue. It's just fantastic to see. I'm really happy for this news because even though sometimes, like this season, for example, let's be honest, the pacing is slowed down for a good portion of it. There's a lot of setup. There's a lot of big things being set up with All Out War, different communities, all these different groups and everything. And some people are like, I don't know. I kind of liked better when it was a more survival horror, where you have just one group of like a dozen or maybe a couple dozen at times people, and they're surviving and they're going through these different things. But what they've done this year with Season 7 is they've really set it up, I think, for the long haul, where instead of just having Rick's group at Alexandria, surviving there and maybe having a few encounters and no way out with a whole bunch of zombies and this kind of deal, now they're really expanding the show to a larger world. You're getting all these different groups, you're getting more characters, and they're really setting it up more for a long-running show, which I think is what you need, because as the question was raised, about Andrew Lincoln's future as Rick, he's not going to be able to play Rick forever, of course. Is he going to be able to do it for another 5 or 10 seasons? I sure as damn well hope so. But when we get to about season 12, 13, 14, 15, if we get there, the question's going to come into play. Is he going to retire? Is he going to continue? What's going to happen here? And when you have a lot of different characters, for example, Maggie, who's really becoming like her own lead right now in the show. If you see her at the hilltop with Gregory and the others, you can really sense that she's becoming her own kind of leader. You have other characters kind of answering to her, Jesus helping her, support her, and everything like this. And they're really setting up some others here as really front-runner A-list characters that could probably take on if eventually, Andrew Lincoln, Rick is killed off or decides he doesn't want to do it and then they want to continue the show. They'll have others they can do it with rather than just him. And of course, as they add on more characters in the future, that will continue to happen. We'll have others they can go to if they need to when eventually Andrew Lincoln does decide to retire, if it's in, 5 or 10 years. I don't know what his plans are. Of course, you'd have to, ask him and everything. But, I mean, it's reasonable. He's already been on the show for 7 full years and, hopefully many more to come. But I'm happy to hear that they at least have that idea. And even though the ratings have kind of come down a bit and they're around 10 million per episode right now, still they've got a long-term vision in play and they're gonna continue with the show. It sounds like to me it sounds like as long as they can. As long as the show makes sense for them to do, they're probably going to continue to do. And with the amount of ratings it's getting right now and how thirsty AMC is to get other shows like Into the Badlands over and, all these other shows they promote the hell out of around Walking Dead, even pushing Talking Dead back an hour to try to promo Into the Badlands and this other stuff. It's not that easy to get a hit where it really gets over with your audience. People love it, and they're like, just want to see it every week. Shows like Into the Badlands, it's not that easy to do. So with Walking Dead, obviously AMC going to hang on to that for dear life, and keep that going for as long as they possibly can. Of course, so long as it's successful and profitable. So as long as The Walking Dead is there, I'll be here, guys. I'm just sure a lot of you guys will be here. Appreciate all your support, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching, and hope you're still interested, in Walking Dead in a few years. And for me personally, I can't picture myself not being, interested in Walking Dead and continuing to make videos on it for many years to come. And I'm excited for that, man. I just, it's a great hobby. It's the most rewarding thing to hang out with you guys and talk about Walking Dead and talk about stuff that we really love. And I'm really happy to hear this news that they're looking at it from a long-term perspective, and it's going to continue on for a while. So for that one, write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think about The Walking Dead, potentially going up to even past 20 seasons or so, even maybe 20 years from now. Not sure exactly what he means by that 100%. But either way, just basically saying the show is going to go on for a long time. And, I'm really happy to hear that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And whether or not you're on board, too, because it's cool. Some people, they just want to watch it for a little while. Maybe they're already kind of fading out with Walking Dead, and they're not really as into it as they were a couple years ago. So write your comments below and let me know what you guys think. With that said, we'll get into a few more of your guys' Q&A questions for right now for the TV series. So like I said, spoiler warning if you're not caught up and you haven't seen episode 15 yet. Jason Benavente says, Trev, Q&A. Do you think Dwight is serious about killing Negan, or do you think he will turn against Rick and the group at the last minute? Could he also be the one that's giving Negan information on the group? Please let me know. What do you think? So, first off, I don't think Dwight could be our little birdie snitch, because it doesn't seem like when Rosita meets him in the back of the alley there in the dark, and he looks like he could be Daryl, and then we find out, of course, a confirmation that it is Dwight. It doesn't seem to me like she told him and then he radioed back or he went back to tell them. It seems to me like Dwight, is going to Alexandria with her, and that he has not told anybody. He's just kind of gone there. Is it possible that he could kind of radio in and set up a trap? It could be, but I don't think he would have done that already without them showing that to us. So it must be somebody else. I don't think right now Dwight is the snitch or the little birdie telling Negan what's going on. I think it's kind of the other way around, where he's a traitor to them, and he's going to help Rick and the group try to take Negan down because, Negan was making out with his wife and all that stuff. And she was kind of into it, which is even makes him even more angry, right? So, makes sense. But I think he is serious about killing Negan if he can, but will he do it and, sacrifice his own skin to get Negan? I don't think he's at that level. Sasha's at that level where she'll go in knowing that she's probably going to die, get shot down going in to try to kill Negan. She's at that level to protect the group. Dwight doesn't seem to be at that level to me where he's willing to go in to try to kill Negan or sacrifice his own skin to get him. I think Dwight will, like I said in yesterday's video, he might switch sides depending on who starts winning. If the survivors start winning, I wouldn't be surprised to see him swap back and just forget the whole thing happened and be like, oh, I don't know what he's talking about. I'll save for the whole time. Mark Scott says, hey Trev, Q&A, do you think the walkers from Oceanside looked awesome? Great special effects on them. Thank you, Greg Nicotero, he says. So yeah, man, I thought those were super sweet. I'm not sure if GN did those, but they looked wicked cool. I love the seaweed. I love the stuff on them. I just thought that they looked really cool. The ship and everything like that was a really nice touch. Kind of reminded me a little bit, close to the water there, of Fear the Walking Dead, at least in some ways. And that's another great show, too, that I really enjoy a lot of. And there's some really cool stuff in it, like the zombie that keeps eating the crabs in Fear, and they come out of his stomach, and then he does it again. again and again. So his guts are open, and he eats a crab, and then it falls out, and then he eats it again, and it falls out. That's nice. So there's some cool stuff in Fear, too, right? And some of the zombies there look pretty cool as well. It's got its own unique kind of look as well, too. Ryan Respect says, is it crazy that until Negan mentioned Rapey Davy would turn, I forgot that I was watching a show with zombies in it? And that's so funny that he mentioned that, and some people thumbed it up, so I wanted to comment on it. You're right, man. Like, until he mentioned the Dave, because he cuts him in the neck, and I'm just like, oh, he's dead. But I forgot that, like, oh yeah, that's right, we're watching Walking Dead, so he's going to turn. I totally forgot about it too, right? Until he mentions it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, she's going to have to kill him because he's going to turn. I thought it might be cool too if maybe she could use him for something too. Like, what if she goes Michonne style and like saws his arms off and then like puts him against the door and just lets him bang into the door for a bunch of hours until the guys come up, open the door, she can kind of throw him at him and then come out and try to escape or something. But she looks too malnourished and depressed to try it. So it would have been cool though either way. Alex Callaghan says, Trev, Q&A, how many seasons do you want from The Walking Dead? I honestly want at least 10 and maybe 12 being the most. And how would you end the series? I love your videos. Keep going, that kind of deal. So thanks, Alex. It's a great question. You asked this a few times. So I got you, brother. I got you. So with this one, man, how many seasons of The Walking Dead would I honestly want? Well, we'll have to see where we kind of feel around season 10. Right now, I'm looking at the comic series and I'm saying, yeah, this should go to about season 12 or 13, and that would be fine, and it would still be really good all the way through with the whispers and everything like that. Will it ever capture the magic that it had kind of the first run through where we had seasons 5, season 6 with that level of hype? And somebody else brought up too, Trev, do you think that Fear the Walking Dead has actually taken away from the original Walking Dead a little bit by maybe oversaturating the market with too many episodes of zombie apocalypse Walking Dead each year? And that's a good insight too, because that started a couple years ago now. We've had a couple years of Fear the Walking Dead as well, like season 6, before and then after. So before it started and then after it was done, and then going to season 7 now, of course, as well too, and then it's going to have another season this summer. So maybe it's true that Fear kind of took away from it a little bit because AMC had produced more supply on demand. There's more supply, so the demand has kind of come down a little bit. It kind of does feel like after the season 7 premiere, the show has kind of come down a bit after that high climax, which is kind of the first time that's really happened in the series where you've had a big decline like that for Walking Dead. In no other season, it seems to kind of build and build and build and build, similar to like Game of Thrones. It just kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger as time went on. And that was the first time we've kind of had a come down this year. But I think it's going to go back up again next year. I'm feeling optimistic about the show. And how long do I want it to go for? I mean, I love doing this with you guys. I love talking about Walking Dead. If Walking Dead wasn't there, I'd probably do Game of Thrones, but I don't know if there's any other shows I really feel that passionate about that I'd want to make videos with you guys like this on a daily basis. I'm just not sure. I got to feel the passion. I do this channel because I enjoy it, because I love it. I buy all this Walking Dead merch because I love it. It's a hobby. It's something that I love to do with you guys, and I love to watch the show. And, I almost look forward to hanging out with you guys almost as much as watching the episodes, because we're doing our predictions and then we're reviewing after, seeing if we're right or wrong, giving our thoughts. It's just, man, it's a lot of fun. I feel like a big kid in a lot of ways, right? So, and I know a lot of you guys do as well too. It's just something we can feel really passionate about and we can enjoy. And it's cool because, some people, they're really into sports. They love to watch, football or hockey in Canada or soccer if you're in the UK or something. Sorry, football in the UK. Sorry, guys. and they get really into that. For me, it's Walking Dead. That's what I love. So I hope that we'll at least get to season 12 or 13 or something. If they go to 15, as long as it's done well, I'm looking forward to the eventual switch when Andrew Lincoln can no longer do it, when he's just had enough, or he gets old enough to the point where it doesn't really make sense for him to do it, or his role is very reduced, and we start to get more time with some of the other people involved. I'm looking forward to that, because I think that's going to be interesting to see when Rick is no longer kind of the lead and that kind of stuff, because if they want to go to season 20 or 25, eventually they're probably going to have to replace him. So he probably is not going to want to sign up for another 15 or 20 years or something. I doubt it. Maybe, but I kind of doubt it, right? So we'll see what happens. But for me, if they get up to season 13 or 15 or something, I'd be happy with that. It'll be my favorite TV series ever, regardless how long it lasts. It's just an incredible story. Kirkman is really the genius, I think, behind the whole thing. Gimple as well, too. But it's just an incredible story. And if they can go to season 13 or 15, I'll be totally 100% happy and satisfied with that, and I won't be upset if they decide to end it at that point, because it's like, well, you got so many great seasons of the show you can go back and watch, and it's just it's my favorite series ever. So let's call it here for today. I'll save the other questions for you guys for tomorrow. Keep sending the questions through. Keep asking me the questions, guys. Let's have some fun. That's what this is all about. That's the name of the game. Let's try to stay as positive as we can. And if you guys like today's video, please thumb it up below, guys. I hope you guys have a great day. You can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left, you want to join the team. Appreciate all you guys for subscribing. Thanks for all your support, guys. Bottom left. That's it for this video. See you guys again tomorrow. It's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.